All right, we're here today with Rafaniel out of Stockton in North California. He is a mobile notary. He's been a mobile notary for over a year now, and now he's teaching people how to do mobile notaries. We're going to kind of cover into that. But first, I always like to start it off with Rafaniel. How'd you get to this point? How did you get to this point in entrepreneurship? What did you do in the past? We talked to a lot of construction workers. Last podcast I did was a firefighter. How'd you end up here, man?
Man, I appreciate you for having me on, Daniel. It's an honor to be on here. Man, how I got into the business, man, I was working security for about 6 years. And my security supervisor who I was working under, they placed a lot of responsibilities and tasks on him as far as like managing the day-to-day operation. So it was starting to be a conflict as far as handling the different duties from other departments and the way they was treating him. They was trying to get him out of the company. I said, if they're doing him like that, it's only a matter of time before they get to me. So I was already was trying to find my exit strategy anyway, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do. Just felt like I wasn't innovative as far as, creating a product, anything of that nature. So my first stop was the first idea was to create a private security company. Just going based off my experience, 6 years of experience of being a security guard. But then after that, I found out what the capital I would need to get started. I was like, I don't necessarily have that as of now. So I knew my mom, she was a notary public. So she's been working for the government for over 20 years, and she was working as a notary at the side hustle. I was like, man, let me look into that. Let me do a little research on Google, and let me see if I can, turn this into a business. And so when I did the research, found out how much mobile notaries can make. It was more than what I was making as security guard at the time. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take this and run with it. And so that same night, submitted my application, paid for the training and everything after my shift was over. Went to the title company. I think it was like North American Title, where I had to do the training, and ended up just doing the 8-hour training there. Took the exam after the 8-hour class. Found out a couple of weeks that I passed, and after that, I took off. I never looked back since. So, been in the industry for about 5 years now. Was working as an independent mobile notary for about 4 years. And then in 2021, in August, that's why I decided to scale it to a nationwide level. So where now we have a notary agency. So got clients in Florida just recently, Tennessee, Southern California, where else? New Jersey. So we going into new markets, it seems like every week.
That's awesome, man. I like your story because it sounds similar to mine, because I was trucking, and then I was like, yeah, let me start a business. So I started my trucking business, and you like, I want to go to the security business. So like, you do what you know in most cases right off the bat, but you kind of pivot from there into wherever you're going, man. Interesting story, man. That's good, man. How old are you, by the way? Because I know you're young.
31.
31. See,
yep.
You're 31. You look a lot younger. Because I thought you were younger than me, man. I'm only 29. I turned 30 this year. Yeah.
I mean, it's that good genes, man. Drinking water every day.
That's good, man. A lot of people, they struggle in what they're. I feel like, and you'll understand this because you're still young. I feel like a lot of people in their 20s, they don't know what they want to do, and they don't know how to do it. So they're kind of like lost in their own way, trying to figure out their own position and where they fit in life.
I definitely struggle with that.
Yeah. Well, was that a struggle with you that you had as well?
Yeah, because in high school, my thing is I wanted to play basketball, so I was really big on my thing was like, I'm gonna try to go to college, try to play college ball, and hopefully I can get to the NBA, something like that. Because I'm 6'4", so I've always been the type of person. I've always played sports, and so when I graduated high school, it was pretty much, all right, well, what's the next step? I'm not going to play college ball. I had a couple of tryouts, but I didn't really necessarily know what I wanted to do as far as a career goes. Like, I always had the idea to start a business. When I was initially going to go into college, my initial thought was I was going to get into business administration. I was like, all right, maybe I can turn this into knowing how to start a business and go from there. But it's funny because my stepdad was in prison at the time, and he was always like, when I talk to him, he always say, hey, you should go looking to being a correctional officer. They don't do nothing. I was like, all right, maybe I could turn that into a career. So that's how I ended up getting a degree in criminal justice and pursued possibly going into law enforcement. But it didn't end up working out. So I ended up going into security, and that led to me doing what I'm doing now.
That's awesome, man. I like that. Like, with young people, they don't necessarily know where they're going, but they'll figure it out eventually. And like, it usually takes like, mid-30s I mean, mid-20s to late 20s to kind of figure out what direction you're going to go. And like, I think it's a great opportunity. I tell people all the time is that the best time to kind of screw up and mess up is in your 20s, because you get the worst case scenario, you're going to end up on your parents' couch.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to fail as much as possible. Fail as much as possible. Figure out what you want to do. Just don't sit on your hands and hope for the best. Like, you know, if it's a job that you're trying to apply for, whatever it is you're trying to do, you just like, you know, just try stuff. You know, if you fail, so what? You know, it's most people that's still not even, they still debating on what they want to do. They're not even willing to take those steps to actually pursue what they're trying to go after. So, like you said, if you listen to this, like you say, if you got that idea, just don't sit on it. Throw it at the wall, see what sticks, and then double down on that, whatever's working.
So let's kind of jump into Notary. So a lot of people think Notary doesn't pay well because I can go to the postal annex right around the corner and get a Notary done for $15.
Yep.
And then this is a side note, I've had somebody come to my house for $20, and I'm like, he must be doing it wrong. He must be
definitely doing it wrong.
Like, I kind of feel bad for him handing him a 20, because I know mobile notary pays well. I'm like, okay, that sucks for him. But here's your $20. You earned it. So
yeah.
What are the qualifications for people that want to get a notary? Because a lot of people think like they need a college degree to succeed in life.
Yeah, so you definitely don't need a college degree in order to become a notary. So every state is different, but here in California, they just the Secretary of the State, they just require you to do a 6-hour training. So it used to be 8-hour training, but now it's just 6-hour training. You can do that online. As soon as you complete the training, then you will need to schedule your proctored exam. So once you schedule the proctored exam, you're going to go to the location, wherever the location of the exam or where you're going to take place. And only thing you're just getting educated on is just the laws, as far as what the laws are, what the penalties, the fines are if you don't perform the assignment in a certain way. And then once you pass the exam, then the next step is you got to get your errors and omissions coverage. You got to get bonded. You got to get your stamp, and then you just wait for the Secretary of the State to send you your commission. So once you get your commission, you are officially in business. So the process is really not tough to get into. I know there's other states to where all you got to do is just sign up, get a background check, and then you're a notary. But here in the little California, it's a little stringent. It's a little stringent on how you can get out in the process of how you become a commissioner as a notary.
I didn't know you had to get bonded. I didn't know it was that too. So how much is your bond?
For here in my county, it was like $40. It's like $40. You just take an oath and say, "Oh, do you promise to abide by the rules and things of that nature?" And you do that. Once you do it, I mean, you're pretty much in business for the most part.
Overnight business,
just like that. So, I mean, that's the easy part. You know, the next step is like, all right, how do I get business? How do I market myself? Who's my target audience? What is it that I really want to do with this business? Because you have some folks that get into the notary business where they may be working a 9 to 5 and they just doing this as a way to generate part-time income. But I think it's other niches, it's other ways to actually make money in this industry, but you just got to actually be deep into the craft and actually connect with people that's in the industry to know what the opportunities and possibilities are out there.
So let's get a little niche specific, because that's where I was like, I just paid this guy $20 to come to my house to do a notary. Like, how do people make money doing this? Because I know you're kind of like doing like notary dispatching now, and then you're like middlemaning it to find other notaries to actually fulfill it.
Yeah, so for the most part, the pricing is normally going to be dependent on your state. So I'll use California as an example, right? So you can't charge. So California law, you can't charge more than $15 per signature, but you can also tack on your travel fee. So let's say, for example, if you don't have an office starting out, you as a notary, you can charge to travel to that client to get your documents notarized. So let's say, for example, I have a power of attorney, right? And the client only needs one signature, and they need me to come to them. Okay, we know it's $15 per signature, and if my travel fee is like $35, I could tack that on the fee as well. And then what? I think 15 plus 35, that's like $15 plus $50. Well, you guys should charge more than that as far as for your travel fee. So there's no cap on what you can charge for your travel fee. I know there's some states that do limit that in regards to like your mileage or whatnot, but that travel fee is very important because one, they're paying for convenience. Like if you need me to come to you like right now, you need this document notarized like yesterday, you don't care what the cost is. You need to get this document taken care of like right away. So you definitely want to have your pricing together. Don't just, perform a notarization for $20. Like, I don't know what that notary is thinking of. They might have been new, but you definitely want to charge more than $20 to get a document notarized.
No, that's funny. I think time and convenience is getting paid, so you got to write it into your travel fee, 100%.
Absolutely.
Is that the only way to like write in your extra fees on top, so you make sure you're charging your $15 for notary?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you got the $15 per signature, and then you have your travel fee, and then that's what. So those are pretty much the two ways that you're going to get paid as far as notarizing the document. So if it's more than 2 signatures, then obviously you're going to tack on an additional $15, and then your travel fee is going to be what that is. So here in California, like I said, there's no cap on your travel fee. You can charge as much as you want. You can charge. I've seen folks charge $60 just to travel. And then there's clients, they will pay that money. They will pay that money, especially if it's a problem that needs to be solved. Like, they have no issue with it. They just want to get that document notarized, especially if it's like a power of attorney and they have a loved one that's in hospice or in the hospital and they need to get that power of attorney like right now. They're willing to pay for it. So yeah, definitely do your due diligence. Definitely do your due diligence ahead of time and know what you're charging for the service.
So let's talk about this. So how long you been doing notary? And you're full-time notary, right? That's all you do?
Yeah. I've been full-time since 2018, September 3rd, 2018. So I've been full-time since that point. And initially I was just like said, when I first started out, it was mostly doing loan documents. So if a person is selling their home, buying a home, and so if a title company needed a notary or as a signing service that needed a notary, they would reach out to me to see if I was available. And I would more times than not make myself available to complete those assignments. It wasn't until, I want to say, to the top of last year. No, not even top of last year. I want to say towards the summer, where I actually started to learn how to book my own appointments. Because a lot of times when notaries getting into the business, you're just setting up your Google My Business page, you signing up with all the signing services, and you're pretty much waiting on them to bring you business. But as an entrepreneur, you can't sit around and wait. You got to actually learn how to book your own appointments. You got to learn how to network, network within the industry so you can position yourself to, diversify your business, whether it's you're doing estate plans, whether you need a document apostilled, whether you're doing fingerprinting, wherever the case may be, you got to be able to generate consistent stream of income.
So this is where I think Hive comes in, right?
Yep.
Using Hive for marketing for your notary business, right?
Absolutely. So the beauty of what Hive is, for me, it allows me to keep track of all the notaries that we work with. Because normally, as a notary agency owner, if you don't have a database of notaries, you're pretty much going to use a couple of directories. So whether it's Notary Cafe, 123 Notary, or signagent.com, you can use those directories, but you pretty much it's almost like you shooting in the dark as far as who's the notary a person, they can make themselves available, but if I don't know their work, I don't have a relationship with them, you're pretty much hoping that they do a good job. Like, you're hoping that, they know what the hell they're doing and, they actually perform the assignment. So for me, I make it a point to network with notaries on a constant basis. And I also have my group as well, the Stanford community. So that way, if I am looking for notaries, instead of me having to spend time on these directories, just going through each one, trying to find the right notary, you can come into our group. I already got your phone number, I already got your email. I know what areas you service, what states you service. So by the time we get a new order that comes in, I can go right in the Hive Mind. I can find out what notary serves this area, and I can use Hive Mind to shoot out a text to them or shoot them out an email to see if they're available for their assignment.
Oh, I love it. I tell people all the time, you need a Facebook community because you can leverage, and it's just free traffic coming in. So The Facebook community, you leverage and you bring in experience and new notaries, and then you're even training people to be a notary as well. That you can build up your database as well. So you're kind of building up your own people through everything from either start to finish or just being on my network. That way, if I ever get a job, I can send it to you.
Absolutely, because the name of the game is speed. I mean, the name of the game is speed. How quick can you find a notary? If it takes me an hour and a half to find a notary, and you actually need that document notarized, you're pretty much gonna go find another notary company to help you with that. So, with us, I prioritize on just being as quick and efficient. So, with the Facebook group, again, that allows me to keep track of everyone that's within the group, and allows me to get business out to them as quickly as possible. And then with the group as well, that allows me to build my own community. That allows me to know, like I said, when it comes back to, again, when I used to use the directories, if I don't know that they're trained, you pretty much taking a chance. But with the people in my group, because I do weekly workshops and webinars, those same people who I send business to, they attend those workshops. So that when I do get a new order that comes in, I feel more than comfortable sending them business because one, I know they're dedicated to the craft. I know they're knowledgeable. We know that I understand. I know that they understand. They know what they're doing, and I know they're going to be professional and get the job done. So I mean, it's a win-win all the way.
So let me ask you this: can you download the directories from the 123 Notary and the notary.com and all that stuff?
No, I don't believe so. No, I don't. Oh, that's a good question. I don't think you would be able to. I think you would have to pay in order to do that. I think for the most part. But for being we can connect Hive Mind to Facebook. For don't gotta necessarily have to do that. So soon as they join into the group, it's instantly getting kicked into Hive Mind into my CRM. I know again, I got their phone number, I got their email. I put tags on them as far as specific states and areas that they serve. So it makes it so much cleaner and so much faster for me to be able to get those orders to find out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, my entrepreneur brain's like, I need to figure out a bot to scrape all that stuff out and invite them to the Facebook group, and then I'll get their information and I can tag them all based out of that. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean that'd be a good idea, but I'd say one thing a message that I always preach in my workshops is like not all notaries are created equal. So yeah, you may have like those directories of notaries in there, but if their experience level is not there, if they don't have the necessary certifications or insurance that makes me feel comfortable in passing them assignment, I'm not going to work with them, for the most part. So I'm very particular about who I work with. And because at the end of the day, my tagline is, if you want it done right the first time, call us the first time. And I want to make sure that whenever the order has been accepted, it's a flawless execution all the way through as far as getting the order completed.
That's awesome. I think a lot of people, they miss out on that, and I think you're combining a lot of different facets of notary just to make it a cohesive thing. So are you mostly doing dispatch now, or do you still go out and sign yourself?
I still go out. So for locally, I still go out. I've been working mostly with law firms as of late, so built quite a few relationships to where if they need me personally, I can show up. And then those same clients, if they have clients in other states, if they have estate planning clients in other states, I mean, I have notaries I feel very confident in that they can perform those assignments and they get them taken care of. So yeah, I still do them, but then for the most part, I still do a lot more dispatching now than I do myself. I'm performing the assignments myself, but at the end of the day, I'm still doing it because I still like to get out in the field. I still like to get out and touch the people, see what's going on, see what's new in the industry. So that way, if something new that comes about, the notaries I'm working with, they can be well informed of what's going on.
So you're doing like a 5-day training now. Is that for like new notaries that want to learn?
Man, yep. So it's for new notaries. It's for notaries that are seasoned in the industry. They want to step it up to a national level. So it's the 5-day stamper challenge. So we're going to spend 5 days, and we're just going to spend those 5 days teaching you how to systematize your business. So day one, we're going to focus purely on just accepting the order. And there's a system behind accepting that order. When it comes to the new order comes in, we're going to do our pre-screening. We're going to book the appointment. And then that very next day, day two, is we focusing on hiring and vetting the notaries. Because one, again, not all notaries are created equal. We want to make sure that we're properly vetting these notaries and we're hiring the right fit, the right notary for the job. That's the system behind that. And then day three, we're focusing on confirming the appointment. So whether that's sending out a notary confirmation, whether that's making sure we have the correct details as far as the appointment, if documents need to be included in the email, we're going to focus on that as well. And then that's the day three of what we focus on, confirming the appointment. And then day four, we're going to focusing on completing the assignment, making sure the notary shows up on time. Basically making sure the notary is communicating with you throughout the entire process. Hey, I made it to the appointment. Hey, the appointment has been completed. Letting the notary know that, hey, before they go to the appointment, they have a support system behind them in case they have any questions or concerns, because we don't want any hiccups in this process. And then day five, we're going to focusing on closing out the order, behind the system behind closing out that order, and make sure you get those reviews as well, because reviews are so key for notaries. Without the reviews, it's going to be tough for you to generate new business. So as we're going to spend those 5 days putting the system together, that way, by the time you start your agency, you off to the races. It's not even a thought about what to do moving forward. You already have the system in place and how to execute that every step in place.
Are you using Google? Are you using Google My Business for reviews?
Yep, I use Google My Business for reviews, and then there's a platform that I use as well called Thumbtack Lead Generation. That's another way to get reviews as well. But for the most part, we utilizing Google because we all know that's the largest search engine in the world, and Google is pretty much mostly used for folks that's looking for notaries anyway.
Awesome. Did you connect HiveMind to Google?
Say that one more time.
Did you connect HiveMind to Google?
Absolutely, you got to. You got to. Like the HiveMind, yeah, the beauty of HiveMind is everything is centrally located, in whether as far as automating, like one thing about HiveMind, I didn't even realize it until today, where I could set up my workflows. Because initially I didn't understand what that meant. It's like, what is the purpose of a workflow? But then when I started incorporating that into like the 5-day stamper challenge, as far as, okay, well, this are the steps that need to be completed once somebody purchases the product. And as far as like the signings and as far as when we get new signings that come in, what's the next steps after that? The following up with the notary to see how the signing went, following up with the signer to see how the signing went. Was there anything we could have been done to be better? Could you also leave us a review if you thought we did a great job as well? So yeah, HiveMind is, come on, man. Every business owner should have the platform. You need a CRM. If you don't have a CRM, it's like, I don't know what you're doing. You pretty much just, you gambling. In my opinion, you gambling if you don't have a CRM.
That's awesome, man. I'm trying not to like pitch HiveMind, but I haven't talked to you since you signed up, so I'm kind of curious like what stage you're at, and it's kind of exciting because like you're still learning new stuff about it, but like now that you're in it, like man, this is like saving my butt from a lot of things, like a lot of stuff that you would have to like manually remember to do is just automation.
And you just took the words out of my mouth. The manual aspect. The manual aspect, because we are human, we are forgetful, especially as business owners. We got so many things coming our way, and it's easily to get swayed off. If you put the systems in place, that saves you a lot of time, a lot of headache from having to forget about an appointment that's been booked, whether it's a certain email that needs to be sent out, and putting all that information together, so the systems together. So yeah, I'm still learning new things about HiveMind and how it's been helping me in my business. Because again, I want to get to a level where we have unprecedented speed. Like the speed level I want to get to is where it's like Amazon. I want to be like the Amazon Prime of the notary business. As soon as you get an order that comes in, we already got a notary available for you within the next 30 minutes up to an hour. So that's the goal where I'm trying to get to, and HiveMind has been very helpful in doing so.
I think with that you just got to build up relationships.
Yep.
And then automate it from there, because once you do that, that's it. Relationships is the power tool, and then the systems is the everything else behind it.
Yeah, it ties everything together. The automation. I mean, the automation aspect. It's so exciting to incorporate those type of systems in place. It's so exciting because, again, that saves you time for having to manually do everything. Like the way the world is moving, the technology is changing every single day. Like you can't manually do everything by yourself. So it's important to put those automations in place. So
one thing I like, did you take Hatchett's course, or did you kind of go down the notary path and then found Hatchett?
So I went down the notary path first, and then I came into Andre Hatchett's course. I done took a lot of courses, man. I done took the Mark Wills course, Tiger Toledo's course. I done took Andre Hatchett's. Like I just took a little piece of everything, and then it's incorporated into my own style. So, and then, like I said, having a CRM, that's took it up to the next level, and then learn how to incorporate the marketing and everything. So, I think for the most part, being a notary for me is easy. I think the part where most notaries, where they got to understand is how to market yourself. So if you get the marketing aspect down, if you know who you're targeting and who you actually want to work with, that makes your marketing a little easier. As opposed, just shrinking everything again, as opposed to just trying to market to everybody. If you could shrink it, move in to just be really specific as far as who you're marketing to, you'll start to see some success in your business.
Man, that's good. So I always like hitting this because a lot of people, they don't like buying courses. And like for me, like that's how I got into real estate. I got into real estate through a course. And you said you got a notary through a course. You kind of took a lot of different courses. So I think education is really powerful because it shortcuts your learning curve.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Like I have no problem paying for courses at all. Like like me, I spent like I took out student loans to get a degree that I absolutely do not need. Like I did not use the degree at all. It wasn't to my benefit at all. So, and then too, like I said, it's new. As a business owner, there's new things that's coming up every day, and you got to be ahead of the curve. Because if you're not ahead of the curve, then you're behind, and you're playing catch up. And I don't want to be in a position of playing catch up. Like I want to be ahead of what's new. What can we do to incorporate this into our business, and how can it be to our benefit? So, I absolutely have no problem paying for courses. Absolutely no problem with it.
And so, Notary for 4 years now. 2018. That's a long time, man. Well, what stuff are you trying to get into nowadays? Like to not necessarily pivot, but now that you're free from your 9 to 5, what I noticed for me is as soon as I quit my job, I saw opportunity everywhere, and I was just like a lost puppy. Like, and it's crazy. It's crazy how it works though, because like when you're working for your 9 to 5, you're always like this. They always get your head down. They take your best hours, and you don't see anything because you don't have the ability to see anything. And then once you're unemployed and you're self-employed, it's just like, woo! The floodgates open, you know.
Yeah.
So what are some other stuff you're working on besides Notary? And like, if it's, I know you're working on the education side to educate that side, and like, what other stuff you working on besides that?
So right now, working on the digital side of the business, doing more education, doing the workshops. I have a vending machine business owner as well, so we're working on getting more locations. My mom is a business partner with me as well, so that helps me from having to do everything by myself. I have a partner in there that's willing to help me with the business, to help it scale as well. So for the most part, vending machine business, but I devote a lot of my attention to the notary business because I'm trying to scale this to a point where we can work internationally. So you can, there's notaries, they need notaries out in the UK, they need notaries out in Australia. I want to get to a point to where we can operate on an international level. So I think that's something that no one has ever done. I don't think anyone here in the States has operated on the international level. So that's something that I'm striving to get to.
Big goals for the stamp right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I didn't even think about notaries nationwide or globally. I didn't even think about that. Look at that. That's crazy.
That's the next level for me. So I'm currently in the process of working on that. Still got ways to go, but because like I said, now I've been blessed to be an opportunity. I've been blessed to be able to operate in different markets, like I said, with the New Jersey's, Texas, Nevada, all those other states. I want to continue to do so, but I want to be able to stretch overseas and be able to service those countries as well. So we'll see how it goes.
I think a lot of people is that they don't think they can they don't think they can put bigger goals on themselves because they think they'll never attain them.
Yeah.
That's huge, man. I think that's a huge goal. And I think now that you know where you're going, okay, now you're like, okay, it's all about building up people because you want to do this globally because that's huge, man. That's a big goal. I'm proud of you. That's dope.
Thank you. Yeah, it's you can't do everything by yourself. I struggle with that. Not gonna lie, I struggled with that for a long time. I try to do everything by myself, and it's power in collaboration. It's power in being able to, put people in position to win and create opportunities for other people as well. So I've been very blessed to be in a position to do so. It's like, all right, now that we've done this, how big can we actually take it? I got a whiteboard at home, and I wake up to think big every day. Like that's really I'm literally trying to think big as possible. Because you just never know. I mean, why not go for it? I've never been one to turn down a challenge. If I fail at it, okay, at least I can say I did it. Most people are not willing to even think about it or even try to pursue after it. So trying to leave a legacy of where, we're trying to do the impossible, so but yeah, that's what we're trying to attain, get to the international level. We can service on a global level.
So servicing the on a global level. Let's talk about this. Did you watch Charles's video that he posted about podcasting?
No, I think I might. Man, Charles posts so much stuff every day.
Raphael. It was Raphael. Raphael posted it, and I'll send you the link. But it talks about how they had Earn Your Leisure on, and like somebody cut like a bit from Earn Your Leisure.
Oh, yeah. He said they had Rashad on there talking, right?
Yeah.
He was like that. Where he was saying that we're not influencers, we're like world leaders. I think he was saying something to that effect.
Yeah, we're global leaders.
Yeah.
So I love that because it reminds me of what you just said, because you're like, I'm trying to take this global, and like me, I'm trying to take the high for like I'm not global too. So I'm like, and then with the podcast thing, where I told you before we recorded that we're in 10 countries with the podcast now, and I'm like, we're reaching the globe at this point through podcasting, through business, through education, and it's just providing the right information and having a bigger cause than you can even think of and imagine.
Absolutely. Yeah, folks, they need property. I mean, properties are being sold worldwide, so yeah, I mean, they might as well use Hive Mind. You gotta definitely use it because it's very beneficial. Well, why not use it?
So we actually have clients in 4 countries right now. Yeah, we're in Canada, Australia, and we have a client in Africa, and the U.S. of course.
How does that feel to have that? How does that feel like for you, like to know you have that type of reach?
It's almost like unbelievable, but it's kind of cool at the same time because you realize you're thinking too small. I think you said it earlier. You're thinking too small, and you can make an internal decision to change the world in your own way, and you could do it.
Yeah,
and you could do it. Anybody could do it.
Yeah, no, it's very possible.
It's very possible.
You just got to want to do it. You know, most people don't want. I don't know if just folks don't want to. They don't want to try. Like, what's the worst? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Who cares? Like, for me, like I said, I really do not care about looking stupid. I really do not care about none of that at all. I don't care about looking stupid. I don't care about failing anything, because I done failed at a lot of stuff. I mean, if I fail one time, it's not gonna be the first time. So I'd rather go for it. I'd rather go for the win and let the chips fall where they may. Because you never know what happens when you take that risk.
I think a lot of people underestimate global impact. I had a conversation with the previous guest, and I was like, he's in real estate for like 30 years, so now he's just focusing on building his brand because it was never about the money. He's made the money, he has the money, and it's more about making an impact. Because and even in that EYL clip is like, you don't know the type of impact you can make just by producing. It's so crazy. So I commend you for producing. I commend you for having bigger goals. And I think a lot of people think too small. And shout out to the mastermind, man. Shout out to the mastermind, man.
When they had Tim Jackson on there, he was talking about being driven by your purpose. I think that was a message that really resonated with me. When I think Tim Jackson was on there. I think it was maybe like 2 weeks ago. I think he was on one of the calls, and that really stuck with me as far as waking up with a purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? If you keep that in perspective, then it makes it real easy for you to wake up in the morning and just get to it.
Knowing what your purpose is a lot of people struggle with that, but if you know what your purpose is, you move with purpose.
Yep.
It's no longer like, hey, let me stick my foot in this and try this. Like, no, you move with purpose. Things happen in front of you that wouldn't normally happen because now you have a purpose and there's a bigger goal with it. So like I was talking about telling you, like, I'm running out of podcasts to record, but I have a purpose of what I'm doing, and I'm releasing 5 a week. So I'm moving with purpose. I'm always trying to produce content because I'm moving with purpose. I'm not taking
you got to produce. Yeah, you got to put stuff out there. That's of late. I've just been throwing stuff out there. I'm just saying what stick, just produce, throw it out there to the world. And like I said, I remember Charles saying, I was listening to Tweet Talk, and he was saying, he had a quote on there where he was saying, just, throw it out there and let the market determine, if it's a valuable product or not. So, because I used to struggle with that initially as far as like, I don't know, do I feel like I'm smart enough to actually do this? Will people actually listen to me? It was like, when you bypass all of that, especially now I have proof of concept in my business. It's like, I know this stuff works, so let's throw it out there and let's see how we can help some people. And if they think it's valuable, okay. If not, we're just gonna put more stuff out there and see what works. So yeah, I'm very big on that. Just produce. Stop thinking about it, just do it. A lot of times we get in our own way with overthinking and caring about what other people's opinions and everything. And when you got kids, you got a family, you don't got time to be thinking about what you do not have the time to be thinking about what other people think about what you're doing, or if you feel like they think you should be actually doing this. It's like, nah, I don't care what y'all got to say. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna put this out there. I'm gonna let the market determine if this is valuable or not. So yeah, for sure.
That's awesome, man. What has been like your driving force right now to keep it, and I think we kind of mentioned it as like global purpose, but it's like, are you trying to hit like a certain goal of like, I'm trying to educate 1,000 people or 10,000 people in the notary space to like get out of your 9 to 5? Like, was there like an internal goal for that?
Internal goal. Initially, I didn't really have an internal goal. I just wanted to help people get into the business because I see how it's impacting my life and how it's been able to change, my quality of life, what I've been able to do for myself and my family. And I think I got the idea from Royal the other day. He had a tweet about possibly selling his business one day. And that's a thought I never came across. And so now I've been waking up with the purpose of like, all right, I'm gonna put this work in. I'm gonna educate people how to get into the business. I'm gonna continue to build this thing up to a global level. And then I'm gonna sell it. I want to grow this business to a point where I can sell it. Say I helped 1,000 people get into this business. I help people start their notary agencies, and I can exit out and find what's my next path and where I need to embark, my next path or journey to embark on.
Interesting. I don't know. I've never thought about selling it. I feel like
it's your baby, man.
Huh?
It's your baby. It's your baby.
No, I mean, it's such a difficult topic for me because I'm like, a lot of it is like, I'd rather outsource and keep than sell and walk away from it, because there's like a bond to it that you poured so much time and effort and networks and systems and creating processes, and there's love in there too. Like you can't sell that off.
There you go. I understand that. Like I completely understand what you mean. Like, especially like I've had days where it's been hard. You did put everything, the blood, sweat, and tears literally into the business. But at some point, if you feel like, if you get to a point where you've done all that you can, I mean, there's, like I said, it's a whole world out here. There's other industries, other markets that's been untapped that possibly you want to get into and see what you can do to help people funnel people into this industry, how you can help build up this industry as well. So that's the beauty of working in the industry business, notary business for sure, because it's still largely untapped. As far as on the technology level, as far as working on the global level, and even with working at the agency. Like most people that get into the business, they think mostly just to do, work with real estate documents only. And that was my initial thought when I first came into the business, but I didn't understand the different niches and, the different ways you can actually, build in this business, so it's largely untapped. Like I said, once I get to that level, like I said, where we operate on a global level, it may be time for me to exit out and find a new journey to embark on and see what else I can do to help other people.
All right. I think we have to have a conversation after the conversation because I'm excited, man. I'm excited for you, man. I think it's a big opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, there's too much competition in this business," and I'm like,
"Oh, don't get me started on that."
There's not.
Don't get me started on that competition thing. Man, competition, that's a funny thing, because I always hear folks when they first get into the industry, they're like, "Oh, is it over?" They always ask, "Is it oversaturated?" And then here in California, it's over 500,000 realtors. And I think it's no more than 200,000 realtors. No, it's no more than 200,000. No, it's no more than 188,000 notaries here in California. And we have, I think our population here was like, what, over 3 million or something like that. So what do you mean oversaturation? And, what do you mean by that when you say it's oversaturated and you're dealing with competition? It's like, embrace it. Like, folks like this, you gotta have this mentality of like, it's enough business for everybody out here. Like, you gotta really have an abundance mentality. It's really enough business for everybody. Like no one, like I don't care who it is, the top person, the top producing person in the industry, they don't have all this. They're not literally having clients in Eureka and having clients in LA. Like they're not snatching up all the clients. So sometimes folks feel a lot of that could be fear as well. They be in their own way. They think, oh, I'm not going to get any business. Maybe it's a confidence thing, but anyone listening to this, you got to have a different mentality. It really is enough business for everybody. And then too, if you feel like it's, it's a way where you feel like it's oversaturated, exit out of the business or try to collaborate with people that's actually doing well for themselves and see what they're doing that's helping them in their business. Because again, a lot of times it comes to people trying to do this by themselves. And when you're trying to do it by yourself, you're going to run into a lot of heartache, you're going to run into a lot of struggles. Collaborate with other notaries that's actually working in the business and see how that works for you.
Collaboration is it. It gets to places where you want to go faster.
Absolutely. And it took me 5 years to understand that. It took me 5 years to understand that. So you imagine all the struggles, all the heartaches I done went through over a 5-year period. It took me years to understand that. I'm thinking, I'm gonna do this by myself. I don't need no help. I don't need nobody stealing my ideas. I don't need nobody stealing my sauce. And I struggled a lot because of that, thinking like that. It wasn't until when I actually started the agency where I started to see, oh, this is what it's like to actually work with other people. Oh, I joined the mastermind. Oh, other people are doing this. Oh, I want to do what they're doing. What are they doing? So maybe that can help me in my business. So, the environment is important, getting in the right rooms, networking, connecting with the right people every day. That type of stuff is important, man. It's key. Yeah, stop trying to do everything by yourself. Collaboration is, man, I could talk about collaboration for a whole hour or two about, just what it's done for me and my business.
So what's a struggle you had as an early entrepreneur that some people need to address? Like, is it like, just name a struggle? Like, did you struggle with education? Did you struggle with following through? Did you struggle with, like, what was something you struggled early on?
Trusting people. Trust was something I really struggle with because I come from a community where not a lot of folks trust each other. We always looking at each other with a side eye, very skeptical. I'm skeptical by nature. That's just who I am. So I struggle with that. So I struggle with, like, sometimes when somebody said they had this much success, a lot of times I'd be hating. I didn't believe them because I was like, well, it didn't work for me. Why is it? If it ain't working for me, I know they're clearly lying about something. So my thing was really just trusting other people, trusting the information, and just applying it. So I went through a lot of years. So it's like when somebody said this was working, I would try it. The first time it didn't work, I'd be like, oh, but that wasn't true. What they just told me. I don't even know why I'm listening to them. So you got to trust people at some point, especially in business, because you're gonna come across different types of people every single day, no matter who you are, every day. So you gotta learn how to trust people. You gotta learn how to get out of your own way, get out of your own feelings, and yeah, you gotta develop trust. You know what I mean? If you can't learn how to trust people, you should probably just stick to your job.
It's a bar.
That trust thing. I struggle with that a lot, man. Just trusting people, trusting the information that they give me. I always just have this mentality like I think people are out to, get me, to sway me the wrong way. And a lot of times a lot of my struggles is due to my own doing. For the most part. So yeah.
I like Twitter because there's a lot of bars on Twitter, and it says that no one wants you to win more than a random stranger on the internet.
Right. Especially and then too, when you think about it, what benefit does it serve them to give you the wrong information? And they don't even know you. What benefit does it serve them to give you the wrong information? And a lot of times it's like Twitter, man. I get a lot of great information from Twitter, and it's helped me in my business, whether it's for email marketing, whether it's sales, whether it's networking. I've gotten a lot of great information from folks who I actually do not know. I've never seen a video of them. I ain't never heard them talk. So the information that they put out there was very helpful for me. So yeah, just getting over that trust, trusting people, I could go on about that. Yeah, the trust factor was something I definitely struggled with. But as time is going on, you start to build and cultivate those relationships. I'm in a better space now to where I don't struggle with that as much. If you give me some information, I think that's helpful. It's like, all right, I'm gonna take it and run with it. If it doesn't work the first time, all right, maybe just that time that didn't work. Let me try it on the next person and see if that works this time. And so, when I started to, continue to apply the concepts, I started to see things turn the corner. So yeah, anyone listening to this, get over the fear of trusting people, because you are going to have to trust people, especially in business. And then two, on top of that, the strangers are going to get you to where you want to get to in your business anyway. Your cousin not going to get you to, your cousin's not going to help, is not going to support your business right away. Your auntie's not going to support you in business right away. If they do, that's cool, but more times than not, especially in the Black community, they not. They want to see how you do first in business. Let me see if it's working for you. If I see it's working, then I'll support. But sometimes they gotta actually see you put the work in and actually see you out there building those relationships before they actually support you. So get over that. You got the strangers are gonna get you to where you want to get to.
I think it's an interesting dynamic, because a lot of it's like family and friends always want to get to the position where you're at, but they don't want to put in the work. They want the shortcut. And I'm like, dude, you gotta go through basic training. That's where you start. You gotta get punched in the face a couple times. You know what it feels like.
Yeah, you gotta deal with all the mental battles. I've had plenty battles with myself, like doubts, like, man, can I really do this? Those are real questions that you gotta ask. And you gotta look in the mirror. You gotta look up in the mirror every day and tell yourself, look, I can do this. I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna persevere, and then let the chips fall where they may. So, yeah, they tend to jump on, the bandwagon when they see some traction. But by that time, it's like, you got to start from the ground level where I started from.
You can't shortcut entrepreneurship unless you're willing to lose a lot of money.
Nope. No shortcuts. I used to look for a lot of shortcuts too when I started out. I was like, what's the? I used to think it was the secret formula to why folks was winning. Like, what's the secret formula? What are they doing? Did they get some secret funding from their family to get them to where they want to get to? No, a lot of times it's discipline and being consistent. If you show up every day, it's going to swing in your favor.
Showing up every day. I think the biggest that people struggle with is consistency, because when it comes to in most people's lives, they're not consistent in anything.
Yeah.
Not one thing. The only thing you're consistent with is their habits.
Yep.
Like their bad habits.
Yeah, definitely the habits is key too. Yeah, you definitely got to have good habits. It's funny because when I first left the job, I wasn't accustomed to having that much freedom. I'm so used to, I go to sleep at a certain time and I know I got to be at work at a certain time. When I first left my job, I had a whole week of just chilling, doing no work, no marketing, not doing nothing, because I wasn't used to that type of freedom. So that's, then that's when you got to, incorporate those habits, read a book here and there, make it a point to talk to 5 people a day, make it a point to get out of the house. Like, I struggle with that too, like just getting out of the house, because I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who I need to talk to, who's my target market, or anything like that. So a lot of that stuff I struggle with as far as the habits go. But after a while, once you start to get into a rhythm, you understand, okay, this is what I need to do to get, have some success or just win the day in general. You start to see those. You start to see your morality kick up a bit. So, yeah, know how to leverage your time. You can have that discipline is key. That discipline is key, because I did not know how to use all that freedom. I was not accustomed to having that much freedom. Like, up until 2018, I always had a job. I always had some type of structure to my day. And then on my days off, it was like, all right, I just sat around and do much. I just do the things I like to do, or like play basketball and go hang out. And that was that. But after getting punched in the mouth a couple of times, and you ain't making no money too initially when you first start out, then it's like, all right, I can't be sitting up in the house. I need to figure out something. I need to figure something out. So,
what is a quote that is yours or somebody else's that you resonate with?
What's the quote that I resonate with? Nehemiah. It's either going to work or it's going to work.
Say that again?
Mentality. I said it's either going to work or it's going to work.
Oh yeah.
No plan. It's no plan B, man. This is what we doing. All right. If I didn't win today, all right, we're gonna get up again and start from zero and go for it. So yeah, I just don't believe in quitting. I've had many days I wanted to quit. I will say that. I've had many days I was like, all right, what am I doing this for? But I know I just always had this mentality, like even before I got into business, I just can't quit. You know, you got people you got to answer to. You know, got kids watching you, got your family watching you, and I don't want to have that perception of somebody that's a quitter. You know, I just want to throw stuff out there. I'm gonna just keep trying, and eventually I'm gonna break through. So every day, man, it's either gonna work or it's gonna work.
The work is gonna work. Where can people find you online? What's your Instagram? What's your Facebook group?
Mm-hmm.
How can they get a hold of you? And where can they find to learn how to be a notary?
Yeah, man, y'all gotta. I'm very frequent on Twitter. Stamper Notary. I'm on Twitter. Stamper Notary. I got 2 Instagram pages. You can find me on Rafaniel, Rafanyo, and then the second page is Stamper Notary. I'm on TikTok as well. I'm still working on that. That's Stamper Digital. What else? Oh yeah, make sure if you're a notary, I'm always looking for new notaries, looking for new ways to create opportunities. Join the Stamper community. That's on Facebook. And then the only thing we ask is for your phone number, your email, what area you service, and then just make yourself available if we have a signing in your area. Make sure you join Stamping Academy. That's pretty much my school. It's academy for where I teach folks how to get into the notary industry, how to build your business as a notary signing agent, and I also teach how to start your notary agency as well. So you can join the Stamping Academy, www.stamperdigital.io. And yeah, come join the Stamping Academy so I can help you start your notary business and help cut you a check.
Boom. We appreciate you coming on, Stamp. This is a great episode. We hope you inspire a lot of people to go to the notary and quit their business 9 to 5. I'm all for that. I don't want you to work for the man unless it's yourself.
Man, appreciate you for having me on, man. It was an honor.
All right, man. We'll catch you next time.
Likewise.